Hello and welcome to Computology Academy, and today we are going to discuss the answer key for the UPSC Prelims 2021, and this answer key is of UPSC Prelims 2021 and the set is set D. So accordingly, you students should open your question on different pages if you are having the different question set. And today we will start with the discussion of the answer key, and we will go a bit very fast because most of the students are very eager to know about their score and how much they have scored and whether they will clear the prelims or not. This is a very big question in their mind right now. So let us start. So the first question is, water can dissolve more substance than any other liquid because. So here it is simply from a NCERT question, and the answer is it is dipolar in nature. So answer will be A. Thereafter the question is, with reference to street lighting, how do sodium lamps differ from the LED lamps? So again, this is a current based question, and here the answer will be 1 and 3 only. So here, as the street lights, sodium lights lamps have longer lifespan than LED lamps, this will not be the correct statement. So only 1 and 3 will be the correct statement, and the answer will be C. Thereafter, the term ACE2 is talked about in the context of. So here the answer will be spread of viral diseases. Now the next question is bisphenol, a cause of concern in the structural key component in the manufacturing of which of the following kind of plastic? So here it will be polycarbonate. It is also a simple question that is from NCERT. And thereafter, triclosan considered harmful when exposed to high levels for a long time is most likely present in which of the following? तो यहाँ पे again this is a simple question, not so simple. Again and again I am saying that simple question. Many of the students will start scolding me in the comment section that sir आपको तो सब simple ही लग रहा था. So here the answer will be toiletries. So the toiletries are full of triclosan and they are very harmful. Next question is, which one of the following is a reason why astronomical distance are measured in the light years? So here the question says the basic fundamental, why does the distance is measured in the light year unit in the astronomical measurement of the distance? So here the answer will be speed of light is always same. So in any medium, whether it is vacuum, whether it is gaseous medium, there will be no change in the speed of light. That's why it is used as the astronomical unit for measuring the distance. And now come to the next page, and here the question number 7, that is, we adopted the parliamentary democracy based on the British model, but how do our model differs from that model? So here the first statement is, as regard to the legislation, the British Parliament is supreme or sovereign, but in India the power of the Parliament to legislate is limited, and it is limited by the Constitution, Article 14, that limits the power of the Parliament. And thereafter the Article 32, the judicial review, again does the same thing. Thereafter Article 226, the power of the High Court to review. These things limit the power of the legislation of the Parliament. So this statement is correct. But the next statement, in India, matters related to constitutionality of the amendment of an act of the Parliament are referred to the Constitution bench by the Supreme Court. This is not necessarily done. So this statement will not be correct. So here the answer will be only one, that is A. Next question is, with reference to union government, consider the following statements. N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar committee suggested that the minister and a secretary be designated solely for the purpose of subject of administrative reforms and promoting it. So N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar was the member of the Constituent Assembly also. He was in charge of Kashmir also, and he headed various committees during the 1950s, and he was the person who recommended these things. So the first statement is correct, and again the second statement, in 1970 the Department of Personnel and Training, whatever it is right now called, but at that very time it was just Department of Personnel, that was constituted on the recommendation of the Administrative Reforms Commission of 1966, and this was the first ARC, first Administrative Reforms Commission was constituted in 1956, which submitted its complete report in 1966, last report, and on that basis in 1970 under the Prime Minister's charge, that is under the PMO, the Department of Personnel was constituted. So here the answer will be C, that is both 1 and 2. Now right to privacy. So here simple funda will work. Various rights are provided under single article, and that has been developed by the Supreme Court, that is right to life, Article 21. So right to privacy also comes under the Article 21. Simply the answer will be answer C. Thereafter consider the following statements. In India there is no law restricting the candidates from contesting in one Lok Sabha election from 3 constituencies. This is not the case right now. Right now the politicians can contest only 2 Lok Sabha seats. Before that it was 3. But in 1996, after the amendment to the Representation of People Act, it was limited to 2 only. But basically TN Session wanted to remove it altogether. He wanted that just one politician can contest 1 seat in any Lok Sabha election. So here this was not followed, and in 1996 it was reduced to 2. And the next option is, in the 1991 Lok Sabha elections, Sri Devi Lal contested from 3 Lok Sabha constituencies, but it is disputed as from various sources. It is not confirmed. There are only 2 seats which are mentioned, that is Rohtak and Sirsa. But here many of the people claim that he had contested 3 Lok Sabha seats. So it may be some dispute there over. So we will see in the future what UPSC considers. So here you should put a star mark in this question number 10. So here the option till now will be 1 only, because as per the existing rules, if a candidate contests in 1 Lok Sabha election from many seats, and his party should bear the cost of by-elections to the constituencies vacated by him or her in the event of vacating that seat. But this is not mentioned anywhere in Representation of People Act 1951. Under section 70, the vacation of seat has been mentioned, but under section 70, it has been nowhere mentioned that the person who is vacating the seat, his or her party will have to bear the cost of by-elections. So till now the answer will be 1 only, that is A option. Now come to the next page, that is the vegetation of savanna consists of grasslands with scattered small but extensive areas have no trees. The forest development in such areas is generally kept in check by one or more or a combination of conditions. Which of the following are such conditions? So here burrowing of animals and termites will not be the answer, as they overturn the soil, they rejuvenate the fertility of soil, they till the soil, so there will be more chances of growing better trees. Because of this, fire will again not be there, as fire again replenishes the nutrition through the burnt ashes to the soil. So this will not be the answer. Grazing of herbivores. Grazing of herbivores basically takes out the new saplings, and because of this there will be lack of growth of the trees. So this will be one of the correct option. Thereafter there will be seasonal rainfall, and thereafter the soil properties. Here the soil is not that much fertile, and because of this there will be not so much growth of the trees. So the option C will be the correct answer. Next question is 12 number question, that is with reference to the water on the planet Earth. Consider the following statements. The amount of water in the rivers and the lakes is more than the amount of groundwater. The amount of water in the polar ice caps and glaciers is more than the amount of groundwater. So here only option B, that is 2 will be correct and 1 will not be correct, because the correct order is the ice caps and glaciers, basically the north and the south poles. Thereafter the groundwater is having more water than the rivers and the lakes. So the option B will be the correct answer. Thereafter question number 13, consider the following statements, and here there is moringa drumstick trees is a leguminous evergreen trees. Thereafter there is termite, so this will not be the correct statement. Here the question says that we have to select the correct statement. Thereafter tamarind tree is an endemic to South Asia, so this will not be correct again, and the rest of the options are correct. So here the answer will be B, that is option statement 3, 4 and 5 are correct. Now come to the question number 14. The black cotton soil of India has been formed due to the weathering of. So here the weathering of, that will be fissure volcanic rock. While the Indian subcontinent was moving over the Reunion Island, so there was the fissure volcanic eruption, and the Deccan Traps and the Deccan Plateaus formed at that very time, and now those rocks are getting withered and forming into the black cotton soil. So this will be the correct answer. Now come to the next question, that is question number 15. Here again, with the reference to the recent development regarding the recombinant vector vaccines, consider the following statements. So here the statement is that genetic engineering is applied in the development of these vaccines. So this will be not a correct answer, and the bacteria and the viruses are used as the vector. This will be the correct answer, and the option B will be the correct option. Thereafter, in the context of hereditary diseases, consider the following statements. Passing on the mitochondrial disease from parents to the child can be prevented by mitochondrial replacement theory, either before or after in vitro fertilization of eggs. So this is not a correct statement, and thereafter there is a child inherits the mitochondrial disease entirely from the mother and not from the father. So this will be the correct statement, and option B will be the correct answer. Now the next question, question number 17 is Bollgard 1 and Bollgard 2 technologies are mentioned in the context of. So these are basically the technologies which were used in 2006 by the Indian researchers to develop the genetically modified crops. Here the genetically modified crops were developed by CRISPR-Cas9 technology. So the answer will be B, that is developing genetically modified crop plants. The next question is question number 18. In a pressure cooker, the temperature at which the food is cooked depends mainly upon which of the following. So here the cooker will be considered as a closed system. So whatever the factors which are responsible within the system or the system's boundary, those will be only considered. So here most of the students have done what the mistake, that they have considered the temperature of the flame also, but this will not be there. Only 1 and 3 statement are correct, that is area of the hole of the lid and weight of the lid. Because of these two things, the pressure in the pressure cooker will change, and thereafter the temperature that is needed to cook the food within the system, that will be changed. So here the answer will be 1 and 3 only. Next question is, consider the following: bacteria, fungi and virus. Which of the above can be cultured in artificial synthetic medium? So this is a simple question from NCERT and all the three are correct. So here again the answer will be answer D, option D for the question number 19. Next question is question number 20. Here the question asks that consider the following statements, and here adenoviruses have the single-stranded DNA genome, whereas the retroviruses have double-stranded DNA genomes. So here the statement is wrong. Both have the double-stranded genomes. Next is common cold is sometimes caused by the adenovirus, whereas AIDS is caused by the retrovirus. So here again this statement is wrong and the answer will be neither 1 nor 2. Now come to the next page. So here the next page will be, now the next question is question number 21. Here the question says that consider the following statements. So here the statement is, right to city is an agreed human right and the UN Habitat monitors the commitments made by each country in this regard. So this is a wrong statement according to the website of UN Habitat. Here what happens, the UN's website clearly says that there is no such kind of commitment made by any country, but this is just being discussed and being made as a suggestion to the different countries. Next is, the right to city gives every occupant of the city the right to reclaim public space. ये अगर हो गया तब तो पूरा chaos चालू हो जाएगा, because every person will try to grab the land whichever there is empty in front of him. So again this statement is clearly logically wrong. So the statement 3 is only right. Here what it says, right to city means that the state cannot deny any public service or facility to unauthorized colonies in the city. Various number of migrants move to various cities in search of occupation and employment, and because of this many unauthorized residential areas sprung up in the urban sprawl, and this is where the UN Habitat says that the right to city must consider that the city type facilities should be provided to such unauthorized settlements also, and so the answer will be option B, that is 3 only for question number 21. Now the question number 22. With reference to India, consider the following statements. Judicial custody means an accused is in the custody of concerned magistrate and such accused is locked up in the police station, not in a jail. So this statement, first part is correct, that is judicial custody means that the accused is in the custody of magistrate, but he is not locked up in the police station but in the jail. So because of this one word, it becomes a wrong statement. So this will not be the correct statement. Now the next statement is, during the judicial custody, the police officer in charge of the case is not allowed to interrogate the suspect without the approval of court. So again this is a correct statement. So here only B will be the correct answer for question number 22. Now the question number 23. Here it says that with reference to India, consider the following statements. When a prisoner makes out a sufficient case for parole, then parole cannot be denied to the such prisoner because it becomes a matter of his right. So in this regard, Kolkata High Court has also mentioned that the parole is the right of a person or a prisoner. It is a civil right. Thereafter, Punjab and Haryana High Court has recently mentioned that on the vicious grounds, the parole cannot be denied to any person just saying that he may jump the parole. So this kind of things can't be the ground on which the parole cannot be granted to any person. So this is a correct statement. Now the next statement is the state governments have their own prisoner rules on parole. So this is also a correct statement. Every state has their own rule to grant the parole to the prisoner. So again, both the options, both the statements are correct. So option C will be the answer. Both the statements, both 1 and 2 are correct in question number 23. Now question number 24. At the national level, which ministry is the nodal agency to ensure the effective implementation of scheduled tribe and other traditional forest dwelling recognition of the Forest Rights Act? So simply it is a factual question and the answer is Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Next question is question number 25, that is a legislation which confers on the executive or the administrative authority an unguided and uncontrolled discretionary power in the matter of application of law violates which one of the following articles of the Constitution of India? So here it is clearly saying that the statement is that if any such legislation is enacted or passed by the parliament which violates the constitutional guidelines, that is simply here it comes Article 14. No such law that can be passed in the parliament which violates the fundamental rights. So simply it becomes option A, Article 14. Now come to the next page. Here in the next page, the question number 26 is which one of the following in Indian polity is an essential feature that indicates that it is a federal in character? So here it is simple that independence of judiciary. The independence of judiciary is safeguarded. So it is a federal constitution. Next question is which one of the following is best definition for the term state? So here the option A is the correct option according to political science book, where it is defined as community of the persons permanently occupying a definite territory independent of external control and possessing an organized government. So option A is the correct option. Next question, question number 28, that is with reference to Indian judiciary, consider the following statements. Any retired judge of the Supreme Court of India can be called back to sit and act as a Supreme Court judge by the Chief Justice of India with the prior permission of the President. So this is a correct statement and it is written clearly in M. Lakshmikant. Next statement is a High Court in India has the power to review its own judgment as the Supreme Court does. Again, this is a correct statement and latest news there was mention about Kerala High Court. Kerala High Court has stated that as the High Courts are court of records, so because of this, the High Court should also review its own judgment, revise its own judgment, because the subordinate courts will use those orders as the reference to pass such judgments. So if there is any kind of misinterpretation or misjudgment or miscalculation by the High Court, then the High Court should revise its own judgment because of being a court of records. So here again the option C will be the correct option, that is both 1 and 2. Next question is 29. With reference to India, consider the following statements. There is only one citizenship and one domicile. Correct statement. A citizen by birth only can be become the head of the state. Wrong statement. In the qualifications needed for being the president, who is the head of the state, it is clearly mentioned. Anyone who is the citizen of India can be the president of India. Again, the next statement, a foreigner once granted the citizenship cannot be deprived of it under any circumstances. So here it is an exaggeration. So the statement is wrong statement. Anywhere in the UPSC paper, if you find some watertight rock solid statements, then go for negating it. Exaggeration is not done in any circumstances. So here any circumstances as comes, same thing will be applied here. Invalid statement. So here the answer will be A only for question number 29, that is 1 only. Question number 30, which one of the following factors constitutes the best safeguard of liberty? So here simply you have to select separation of power, so that the checks and balances in the governments, in the administration should be maintained. Legislature, executive and judiciary, all the three are independent. The fourth pillar of democracy becomes the media, and here all the organizations of this democracy are checking and balancing each other's activities, so that there should not be any violation of liberty. Now come to the next page. Here in the next page we find that how is a permaculture farming different from conventional chemical farming. Question number 31. So here the statements are provided. So here the first statement says that permaculture farming discourages the monoculture practices, but in conventional chemical farming monoculture practices are predominant. So this is the correct statement. Thereafter, conventional chemical farming can cause increase in the soil salinity, but occurrence of such phenomena is not observed in the permaculture farming. So again this statement is correct statement. Now the conventional chemical farming is easily possible in the semi-arid regions, but permaculture farming is not easily possible in such regions. So this is not a correct statement. Thereafter, statement 4, practice of mulching is very important in permaculture farming but not necessary so in the conventional chemical farming. So this statement is a correct statement. Because of mulching, the humidity content of any soil or any cultivable land will increase. So because of this, the fertility of that soil will increase. So in permaculture, to avoid the excess use of chemical fertilizer and to increase the productivity, it is needed. So here the option B is the correct option. That is statement 1, 2 and 4 are correct. Now come to question number 32. Here the question is with reference to palm oil, consider the following statements. The first statement is the palm oil tree is native to Southeast Asia. So this is a wrong statement. It is not native to Southeast Asia. Next statement, palm oil is a raw material for some industries producing lipstick and perfumes. This is a correct option. Here it is used as a polymer. Thereafter, statement 3, the palm oil can be used to produce biodiesel. This is also a correct statement. Any vegetable oil can be used to make the biodiesel. So here the option B is the correct option for question number 32 and the answer is 2 and 3 only. Next is with reference to Indus river system, of the following 4 rivers, 3 of them pour into one of them which joins the Indus river directly. So here the options are Chenab, Jhelum, Ravi and Satluj, but the correct answer is Satluj only. Simple geography question from the map marking. Next question is with reference to India, Didwana, Kuchaman, Sargol and Kathu are the names of. So these are not the names of glaciers, these are not the names of mangroves, and if you know about the Ramsar site lists, these are not the Ramsar site lists also. Basically, these are the saline lakes which are located in Rajasthan. Simple map marking question. Thereafter, consider the following rivers. Here, Brahmini, Nagavali, Suvarnarekha and Vamsdhara. And the statement asks that which of the above rises from the eastern ghats. So, many short rivers, short distance covering rivers rises from the eastern ghats, and of them Vamsdhara and Nagavali rises in the eastern ghats, while Swarnarekha rises on the Chota Nagpur plateau, and the Brahmini is made by the two tributaries, that is Koyal and Sankh. So here the option B will be the correct answer, that is 2 and 4 only. Now come to the next page. Now come to the next question. Consider the following statements. And the statement says that the Global Ocean Commission grants the license for seabed exploration and mining in the international waters. So here there is nothing like Global Ocean Commission. It is International Seabed Authority headquartered in Jamaica. So this is the organization under UN which grants the license. So first statement is wrong, and here itself you get the answer that B will be the correct answer, that is 2 and 3. Next question is, among the following which one is the least water efficient crop? And time and again we see in the news that the sugar cane is being cultivated in the water deficit regions, and because of that in the summer season the regions are facing the water scarcity. So simply the answer will be option A, that is sugar cane. Next is, consider the following statements. In the tropical zone, the western section of the oceans are warmer than the eastern section owing to the influence of trade winds. So all of you who have read about the ocean currents might be knowing that this is a correct statement. Next statement is that in the temperate zone, the westerlies make the eastern sections of the ocean warmer than the western sections. This is also a correct statement, and the answer will be C, that is both 1 and 2. All of you who have seen the map of the world of the isobars, distribution of temperature, simply from the map itself you can get this information that the western section of the oceans are having less temperature than the eastern sections, and that is just because of the westerlies. Now the question number 39. In the context of India's preparation for climate smart agriculture, consider the following statements. So here the first statement says that the climate smart village approach in India is a part of the project led by the Climate Change Agriculture and Food Security CCAFS and International Research Program. This is a correct statement, was in current affairs. The project of CCAFS is carried out under the consultative group on the International Agricultural Research CGIAR headquartered in France. This is also a correct statement. And ICRISAT in India, this is the research center for CGIAR, and all the statements are correct. So the answer will be option D, that is 1, 2 and 3. All the 3 statements are correct. Next question is, leaf litter decomposes faster than in any other biome, and as a result the soil surface is often almost bare. Apart from the trees, the vegetation is largely composed of the plant forms that reach up into the canopy vigorously by climbing the trees or growing as epiphytes rooted on the upper branches of trees. This is most likely description of. So this is simply a statement which is describing the tropical rainforest, because the decomposition is faster. So here temperature should be high, and humidity should be high. So simply it becomes the tropical rainforest region, because in the coniferous region temperature is not so high that the litter can be decomposed. Next, in the dry deciduous region the humidity will be less. Again, in the mangrove region salinity is high and there is too much of water, so the litter will be washed out as it is. So the answer will be option D, that is the tropical rainforest. Now come to the next page or the next question, that is question number 41. Here, under the Indian Constitution, concentration of wealth violates which of the following? So here the answer will be simply concept of welfare state. But most of the students have marked DPSP, but nowhere in the DPSP it has been mentioned that the accumulation of the wealth should be restricted. The DPSP says about the government policies that should ensure the redistribution of the wealth, but nowhere it states that the concentration of the wealth should be restricted. So the answer will be option D. Next question is, what is the position of right to property in India? So earlier it was a fundamental right, but through the 42nd amendment it was removed from the fundamental right and it was made as legal right under 300A. So right now its position is legal right available to any person, not just the citizen of India only. So again here also it is an exaggeration, a simple trap, and first two letters if you read and go through on to mark the answer, then you will be in trap. Simply UPSC plays with your mind. Next question is, what was the exact constitutional status of India on 26th of January 1950? So this is the question from the preamble. As you see here, a democratic republic, a sovereign democratic republic, a sovereign secular democratic republic, sovereign socialist secular democratic republic. So these two words, socialist and secular, was added by the 42nd amendment. So the option B is the correct answer, that is sovereign democratic republic. If you read the old preamble, so you will clearly get to the answer. Now come to the next question, that is the constitutional government means. So what does the constitutional government means? So simply it means that a government limited by the terms of the constitution. So how does the government should function? What are the authorities of the government? What are the authorities of the person who are wielding the power in the government? All these things are delineated in the constitution. So the constitutional government means a government limited by the terms of the constitution. Next question is, with reference to India, the terms halbi, ho and kui pertains to. Most of the students might have trapped that this may be some kind of dance, some kind of musical instruments, but it is simply tribal languages. Halbi and Ho are the names of the tribes as well as the tribal language of the same tribe. They inhabit the region of central India, Odisha, Chhattisgarh and some part of Maharashtra. While Kui is the language of Khond tribe. This is the only, Kui is the only word which is not for the tribe as well as their language, but are different. So the answer is option D, that is tribal language. Next question is 46 number. Consider the following statements in respect of Bharat Ratna and Padma Award. So the statement says that Bharat Ratna and Padma Award are the titles under the Article 18 Section 1 of the Indian Constitution. But here nowhere the names of the awards are mentioned. So this statement is wrong. Here only it is mentioned that the government can confer the title. under the military and the educational achievements. Next is Padma Award, which were instituted in year 1954, were suspended only once. Again, this is a wrong statement. They were suspended twice. Once from 1977 to 80 and next time from 1992 to 95. So twice they were suspended. So here the question says that which of the following are not correct. So you have got two options. Now the next is the number of Bharat Ratna award is restricted to maximum 5. Again this is a wrong answer because the restriction is up to 3. More than 3 Bharat Ratnas cannot be awarded in a year. And here the answer becomes option D. That is the correct answer for question number 46. Now come to the next question, that is question number 47. Here consider the following statements. First is the United Nations Capital Development Fund and Abode Foundation have recently recognized Hyderabad as 2020 Tree City of the World. So here the statement is wrong statement. Hyderabad has been recognized as the tree city of the world, and it is the only city in India which has been recognized for that purpose. But it is recognized by Food and Agricultural Organization of UN, not UNCDF. Next statement is Hyderabad was selected for the recognition for a year following its commitment to grow and maintain the urban forest. This is the correct statement. So the option D is the correct option. So the answer for 47 will be D. Next question, 48 number, that is consider the following statements in respect of Laureus World Sports Award, which was instituted in 2000. So basically the efforts by various sportsmen of earlier period was started during the 1996 itself to institute such kind of award, and basically they instituted in 1919 and first award, that is inaugural award function, was done in 2000, in which the guest of honor was Nelson Mandela and he had given the speech also. So here the first statement is American golfer Tiger Woods was the first winner of this award. Correct statement. The award was received mostly by the Formula 1 players. This is not correct, but the correct answer is tennis. Tennis players have got the most number of awards. And the next statement is Roger Federer received this award maximum number of times. So this is the correct statement, and Roger Federer have received this award for 6 times maximum number. So here the options, the correct answer will be C, that is 1 and 3 only. Now come to question number 49. Consider the following statements in respect of 32nd Summer Olympics. First statement is the official motto of the Olympic was a new world. Wrong answer. The official motto was united by emotions because of the corona call. Next is the sports, climbing, surfing, skateboard, karate and baseball are included in this Olympic. Rest of the thing is good, but climbing was not any kind of sports in this Summer Olympics. So neither 1 nor 2. Option D is the correct answer for question number 49. Next question is consider the following statements in respect of ICC World Test Championship. Last time the ICC World Test Championship final was between India and New Zealand, and by very narrow margin, or very unfortunately, India lost to New Zealand. And here the first statement says that the finalists are decided by the number of matches they won. This is not the correct thing, but they are decided by the PCT, that is percentage, and that percentage is calculated by the number of points for which they played the match and they won. So here the number of points they accrue out of the number of points for which they played the match. Through this they are decided for the final position, or the finalists are selected. Next question is, New Zealand was ranked ahead of England because it won number of matches. So this is also not correct answer statement, because New Zealand was selected because it had a more percentage, that is PCT was for New Zealand was around 70%, while for England it was only 66% around, not in exact figure. So here both, that is statement 1 and 2, both are wrong. Neither 1 nor 2 will be the answer, that is option D. Now come to the next question. So a bit here the question paper is not clear because we didn't had the clear scanned copy. So here the question number 51, consider the following statements. The Governor of Reserve Bank of India is appointed by the central government. So here it is a correct statement. A committee of the central government appoints the Reserve Bank of India governor. Next statement is, certain provisions in the Constitution of India gives the central government right to issue direction to the RBI in public interest. The central government have the right to issue certain directions to the Reserve Bank of India governor or the Reserve Bank itself to do something, to fulfill some public interest, but this is not provided by the Constitution, but the RBI Act, section 7 of RBI Act provides such power to the central government. So again this statement, that is second statement, is wrong. So simply here the answer will be option C, 1 and 3. Even you don't need to read the third option. The RBI governor draws its power from the RBI Act, simple statement. Question number 52. With reference to the casual workers employed in India, consider the following statements. All the casual workers are entitled for the EPF coverage. Employees for Provident Fund Act, EPF Act, provides the casual workers the right to open the EPF account, and the Supreme Court has also directed various organizations to open the account or to provide the facility of EPF account to the casual workers also. And next statement is, all the casual workers are entitled for the regular working hour and overtime. This is also a correct option under the Labour Act. Next statement is, the government can by notification specify an establishment or industry shall pay the wages only through its bank account. It is simply the government authority that can do, because it has been provided in the Labour Act itself that the government have the right to ensure the welfare of the casual laborers or the workers. So the government can direct the industries and the small establishments to pay the wages of the laborers in their account through their own account. So all the options are all the statements are correct, and here the option D will be the correct answer. Now come to the next fresh page. So here the next fresh page is question number 55. With reference to the urban cooperative banks, consider the following statements. They are supervised and regulated by the local board set up by the state government. Wrong statement. UCBs are also looked after by the RBI itself. They are under the guidelines and directions of the RBI. They can issue equity and the share for the preference shares. This is the correct statement. Now the next statement is, they were brought under the purview of Banking Regulation Act in 1949 through an amendment in 1966. Correct statement. If this statement is wrong, then this will be correct. Simple. So here the answer is answer B, that is 2 and 3 only for question number 55. Next question is, Indian government bond yields are influenced by which of the following? So here simply the answer will be D, that is all of 3. Action by the US Federal Reserve interrupts the economic condition of whole world. So India is not out of this planet. So this will be right option. Thereafter, action of the RBI, simply the central bank of this country will influence the economic condition of this country, and thereafter the bond yields of the government also. The next question is inflation and short-term interest rates. That is the whole economy, interest rates and inflation. इसी पे तो पूरी आरबीआई खेलती है, रेपो रेट, रिवर्स रेपो रेट, सीआरआर, एसएलआर, सब इसी की मारामारी है, इसी की माया है. So here the option B, D will be the answer for, correct answer for question number 56. Next question is 57. Consider the following statements: foreign currency convertible bonds, foreign institutional investment with certain conditions, global depository receipts, non-resident external deposits. Which of the above can be included in the foreign direct investment? So here the option B or A, both can be the answer. It depends on the UPSC. So mark this as star question. Star खिलाड़ी हमारे जो कि खेलेंगे कट ऑफ में. Now come to the next question, that is, consider the following statement. The effect of devaluation of a currency is that it necessarily improves the competitiveness of the domestic export in the foreign market. Correct. The foreign currency will be needed less to purchase more goods. डिवेल्युएशन होगी तो इंडिया की करेंसी सस्ती हो जाएगी, कम डॉलर में ज़्यादा रुपये मिलेंगे, यानी कि ज़्यादा सामान खरीदा जाएगा. सो फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज करेक्ट. नेक्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज इंक्रीज इन द फॉरेन वैल्यू ऑफ द डोमेस्टिक करेंसी. तो फॉरेन वैल्यू डोमेस्टिक करेंसी की बढ़ेगी? नहीं बढ़ेगी, घट जाएगी. नेक्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज improves the trade balance. Wrong, because we will need more money to purchase foreign goods as the Indian currency or the national currency will be devaluated, and because of that to purchase dollar will need more money, so the trade balance will be improved. There will be negative trade balance. So the answer will be 1 only, that is option A. First statement is only correct. Now come to the next question, that is question number 59. So here the question is, which of the following effects of creation of black money in India has been the main cause of worry to the government of India? The diversion of resources to purchase of real estate and investment in luxury houses. Maybe, can't say right now, because according to UPSC, simply you have to choose the best option among the following options. Next is investment in the unproductive activities and purchase of the precious stones, jewelry, gold, etc. Maybe. Large donation to political parties and growth of regionalism. Maybe. Thereafter, last statement is loss of revenue to the state exchequer due to tax evasion. Best statement. Direct loss to the government. So this will be the best option. So the answer will be D only. Next question, question number 60. Which one of the following is likely to be the most inflationary in its effects? Repayment of public debt, borrowing from the public to finance a budget deficit, borrowing from the banks to finance a budget deficit, creation of new money to finance a budget deficit. Best option. Here easy money, just छापते जा रहे हैं, मिलते जा रहा है, मार्केट में छोड़े जा रहे हैं. So this will cause the most bad kind of inflation, as we had witnessed about Zimbabwe, Venezuela, etc. Now the next question is question number 61. Which one of the following is used in preparing a natural mosquito repellent? So here lemongrass, simply from the science textbook of NCERT. Here lemongrass will be the answer. Next question is, consider the following kinds of organism: copepods, cyanobacteria, diatoms, foraminifera. Very difficult. Such kind of questions decide the cutoff. Which of the following are the primary producers in the food chain? So, if you have read the environment and ecologically religiously, then you can answer. Not definitely answer. Still, it is a difficult question. So, here the answer is 2 and 3 only. Cyanobacteria and diatoms. Cyanobacteria, if you have read the physical geography NCERT, evolution of the earth and evolution of the atmosphere, in the description of the evolution of the atmosphere, it is provided that the cyanobacteria was the primary producer, because of which the oxygen was produced in the atmosphere and the atmospheric condition, the composition of the atmosphere of the earth was changed. So that's why I usually go on to say the students, read the NCERT, read the NCERT. Most of the questions I am seeing here, either they are from the current affairs or they are from the NCERT, but you have to go through the NCERT word by word. Now the next question is, consider the following animals: hedgehog, marmot and pangolin. To reduce the chance of being captured by predators, which of the above organisms rolls up and protect its or their vulnerability? Good statement. What kind of statement? So clearly they have put the confusion in your mind through rolls up and roll up, through protects and protect, its or their, singular and the plural type of words, both of them has been used here, and because of this you will tempt to mark either 2 or 3. So here the temptation will be great, but the answer is hedgehog and pangolin. Pangolin you might have seen the Australia, when you will be seeing about Australia on the Nat Geo, that animal which is having the spikes on its body, that is pangolin. So here option D will be the correct answer. Now come to the next question, that is question number 64. With reference to New York Declaration on Forest, which of the following statements are correct? So here the first statement is, it was first endorsed in the United Nations Climate Summit in 2014. So this is a correct statement. Thereafter it endorses a global timeline to end the loss of forests. Correct statement. It is a legally binding international declaration. Legally binding. Exaggeration. So definitely it will be a wrong statement. Thereafter it is endorsed by the governments, big companies and indigenous communities. Correct statement. India was one of the signatories at its inception. क्लाइमेट चेंज से रिलेटेड कोई भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, कोई भी स्ट्रक्चर में बिफोर 2009 इंडिया कभी भी इनिशियल स्टेज में साइन नहीं करता था, बिकॉज ऑफ कॉमन बट डिफरेंशिएटेड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी प्रिंसिपल. तो यहाँ पे इंडिया का सीधा कहना था कि हिस्टोरिकली आप लोगों ने पॉल्यूशन फैलाया है. यूरोपियंस एंड द वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज आर द countries who are responsible for the correct situation of the atmosphere and the climate change. So here they should take more responsibility rather than the developing countries and underdeveloped countries, and they should pay for their development first, and they should transfer the technology to the developing and underdeveloped countries. Then only the underdeveloped and developing countries will be in position to accommodate such kind of things. So here the answer will be option A, that is 1 and 2 only. Now here the next question is, magnetite particle suspected to cause neurodegenerative problems are generated as environmental pollutants from which of the following? So here simply it is a question related to particulate matter, that is PPM 2.5 or PM10, whatever it would be. So here the question gives a statement and there are options. Brakes of the motor vehicles, magnetite, hematite, magnetite, such kind of things you might have heard while studying geography and thereafter in that about the iron ores. So brake motor vehicles made of iron, so there should be it. Thereafter engine of motor vehicles, correct. Thereafter microwave stoves, microwave stoves within the homes, they do not produce any particulate matter. Microwave ovens are not producing any particulate matter, so this will not be there. Power plants, definitely power plants, there all the machineries are of ionic nature, so the metal will definitely produce the magnetite particles. Telephone lines, nothing is produced by this, so here the option B will be the correct answer, that is 1, 2 and 4. Now come to the next question, that is which one of the following is a filter feeder? Good question from environment and ecology. So here simply it is a factual question and the filter feeder is oyster. In next question, 67 number question, in case of which of the following biogeochemical cycles the weathering of rocks is the main source of release of nutrients to the entire cycle? So in the rocks, and that too nutrients, carbon is not the nutrient, जाने दो. Thereafter nitrogen through atmosphere, so here remains the phosphorus and the sulfur, and the major nutrient for the plant growth, one of them is phosphorus. Phosphate का हम लोग fertilizer तक डालते हैं अभी. Manufacturing of the phosphate fertilizer is going on at a huge scale in each and every country to produce more and more grains to ever increasing population. Now the next question is which of the following are detrivorous? That means they feed on the dead animals, dead plants, etc., whatever it is that is not having the life. So here the answer will be C, that is earthworm, millipedes and wortlies, and seahorse and jellyfish will not be there. They feed on the planktons, not on the detrivores, dead animals. They are not the detrivores. Now come to the next question, and the next question, that is 69 number question, is common carbon matrix supported by UNEP has been developed for. Factual question related to United Nations organizations, and that is for assessing the carbon footprint of buildings operations around the world. Any building BE rating जो मिलती है ना buildings को, that BE rating, that is for this measurement. So the buildings who are using least amount of energy and producing less amount of carbon dioxide to the nature, अगर वो एनर्जी कंजम्पशन कम करेंगे then obviously they need less amount of power supply, and power is produced from the thermal power plants, so that will increase the carbon footprint. So यहाँ पर basically मुद्दा यही है कि common carbon metric is developed for assessing the carbon footprint of building operations around the world. So for 69 number question, option A is the correct answer. Next question is which of the following have species that can establish symbiotic relation with other organisms? तो यहाँ पर एक दो तो आप लोगों को हमेशा ही पता रहते होंगे कि जैसे यहाँ पे फर्स्ट वन फंगाई, फंगस always grows on other plants or animal bodies. So first of all fungus will be there, so here option C will be eliminated right away. Thereafter cnidarians, थोड़ा बहुत डिफिकल्ट है, बट प्रोटोजोआ अगेन इज अ symbiotic relation organism. So next here will be 2 and 3, the war will between 2 and 3 and D. So यहाँ पे ये क्वेश्चन ट्रिकी बन जाएगा because all of them are the correct answer, and if you don't know the correct answer, options are also like that, you will not be in a position to answer this question. Next question is question number 71. The money multiplier in an economy increases with which one of the following? Increase in the cash reserve ratio in the bank, increase in the statutory liquidity ratio in the bank. तो यहाँ पे जब भी कैश रिजर्व रेशियो बढ़ाएंगे तो देन द बैंक्स विल हैव टू होल्ड मोर ऑफ द कैश विथ आरबीआई, सो द सर्कुलेशन ऑफ मनी विल रिड्यूस इन द इकोनॉमी. तो ये नहीं होगा बिकॉज एज द सर्कुलेशन ऑफ द मनी इन द इकोनॉमी विल इंक्रीज, इट विल मल्टीप्लाई मोर. Same thing will be the SLR, statutory liquidity ratio. Increase in the banking habit of the people and increase in the population in the country. तो यहाँ पे दो चीजों के बीच में फंसता है मुद्दा, but D can't be the option because population will increase the demography, not the economy. So simply option C is the correct answer for question number 71, that is C, increase in the banking habit of the people. As the banking habit will increase, the people will deposit their savings with the banks in different forms, whether savings account, FD, whatever it is, and the bank will have more cash, more money to lend to other peoples, and the people who will take the loan will invest in the business, or they will purchase some kind of thing, whatever it is, vehicle loan, car loan, whatever it is. So this will again cause the circulation of the money once saved by one person, that is being used by other person through the banking channel. So this will multiply the money in the economy. Next question is 72 number question. With reference to Indian economy, demand pull inflation can be caused or increased by which of the following? डिमांड पुल इन्फ्लेशन. इन्फ्लेशन कैसे कैसे बढ़ता है? एक तो डिमांड पुल इन्फ्लेशन और दूसरी चीज क्या है कि पुश इन्फ्लेशन. तो वो चीजें बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे. सो हियर द फर्स्ट ऑप्शन इज एक्सपेंशनरी पॉलिसीज. गवर्नमेंट विल पुट इन मोर मनी and because of that what will happen? The people's increase purchasing power will increase and they will purchase more of the goods and services, so the inflation will be there. Then fiscal stimulus, same thing will be there, pumping in more money in the economy, and these things are done whenever there is the situation of recession in any country or any economy. Keynesian formula, Keynesian economics. And thereafter inflation indexing wages, same thing, you are providing the people with more money through wages mode. इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ रहा है, आपने उनकी पेमेंट बढ़ा दी, उसके हिसाब से उनकी फिर से परचेजिंग पावर बढ़ गई, एंड द डिमांड इज नॉट रिड्यूसिंग, सो द इन्फ्लेशन विल गो ऑन. देयर आफ्टर अगेन higher purchasing power, same thing, the purchasing power will increase, so the demand in the market will increase, so the inflation will increase. So here in the option you will find that all the four are correct, but the option D only fulfills this situation. So here the option D will be the answer. Now come to the next question. So here in the next question, question number 73, the statement says that with reference to India, consider the following statements. Retail investors through Demat account can invest in treasury bills and government bills of India, debt bonds in the primary market. So here this is a correct option. Recently the RBI has changed the rule and now the people can purchase the government bonds also, government securities also in the retail market. And thereafter the next statement is negotiated dealing system, order matching is a government security trading platform of the RBI. This is also a correct option, correct statement, and it is simply a factual question. Now the next statement is the Central Depository Services Limited is jointly promoted by the RBI and the BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange. This is the wrong statement, so your answer will be Option B only. And why this is wrong? Because Bombay Stock Exchange, the oldest stock exchange of Asia, he is the promoter of Central Depository Services Limited, but with it RBI is not there. RBI is wrong. Here the next stakeholder is HDFC Bank. Next is Standard Chartered Bank. Next is Canara Bank. So all these banks are the promoters of this BSE, but not the RBI. Next question, with reference to water credit, consider the following statements. It puts the microfinancing tool to work in the water and sanitation sector. This is a correct answer, correct statement. Water.org. Visit this website. This is the organization which is taking this all initiative to provide less costlier water and sanitation facilities to the rural areas and other peoples who are living in the urban areas but deprived of such kind of facilities and dependent on the government authorities or the government provisions for these things. So this initiative wants to make them independent in such kind of things. So this is a correct statement. It is a global initiative launched under the aegis of WHO and World Bank. So this is a wrong statement because water.org, that NGO, is involved in this. Next statement is, it aims to enable the poor people to meet their water needs without depending on subsidies. So this is the correct statement as we have discussed here. So the answer will be option C, that is 1 and 3 only for question number 74. Now question number 75. In India, the central bank functions as the lender of last resort. Correct. But what is the question? Usually refers to which of the following? Lending to the trade and the industry bodies when they fail to borrow from other sources. Correct statement. Thereafter, providing liquidity to the banks, creditor of last resort. Correct statement. Lending to the government to finance the budgetary deficit. No, through government bonds and securities. So this is the wrong statement. So the answer will be option A for question number 75, that is 1 and 2 only. Next question is, R2 code of practice constitutes a tool available for promoting the adoption of. So if you know the full form of R2 code, that is responsible recycling, then you can easily answer this question. That is environmentally responsible practice in electronic recycling industry. Option A for question number 76 will be the correct answer. Now come to the next question, that is, why is there a concern about copper smelting plants? So here they may release lethal quantities of carbon monoxide into the environment. So this will be the correct statement. Next is, the copper slag can cause the leaching of some heavy metals into the environment. Correct statement. They may release the sulfur dioxide as pollutant. So the copper are basically mined from the veins of the rocks, and here there is constituents of different kinds of metals as well as chemical compounds. In that there will be sulfur dioxide will be also, there will be carbon monoxide also. The slag is in itself a very toxic substance, so this will always cause the harmful effects. So option D will be the correct answer. Now come to the next question, that is, with reference to furnace oil, consider the following statements. It is a product of oil refineries. Correct option, correct statement, because these are the heavy liquid that is taken out of the oil refineries, and these are dirty liquids, dirty oil it is considered as, and these are used as a feedstock in the furnaces. लो कॉस्ट का वहाँ पर इनपुट चाहिए, रॉ मटेरियल चाहिए, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट दिस फर्नेस oil is used. Next statement is some industries use it to generate power. Correct statement, because some industries used it to feed in the boilers, because particulate matter कम है, coal में energy efficiency कम होती है, and in the furnace oil the energy efficiency coefficient of energy is more and it will generate more energy, more power, because of which it is used for generating the power. Next statement is its use causes sulfur emission into the environment. Maximum content of the sulfur is there in the furnace oil. गाढ़ा एकदम काला सा liquid होता है, very heavy liquid, and that is being used in many thermal power plants also to produce the energy, and this is causing high level of sulfur emission into the atmosphere. So all the statements are correct and option D is correct answer for question number 78. Next question is, what is blue carbon? The carbon that is captured by the oceans and the coastal ecosystem, that is called as the blue carbon. Blue जहाँ भी related रहे, blue economy, ocean related economy. Blue carbon, ocean related carbon, that's it. Thereafter, question number 80. In the nature, which of the following is most likely to be found सर्वाइविंग ऑन द सरफेस विदाउट सॉइल? तो सबसे पहले यहाँ पे आप लोगों को मोजेस और मशरूम्स टिक कर देना है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू शुड विदाउट थिंकिंग एनीथिंग, मोजेस ऑलवेज इट इज मेंशन्ड इन द एनवायरमेंट एंड इकोलॉजी टॉपिक. मशरूम्स you might have seen them growing on the surfaces without soil, and thereafter look for the options which is matching your option. So here option D will be the answer. So ferns is also the correct statement or correct option. So option D is the answer for question number 80. Now come to the next question. So here in the next question the statement is with reference to the history of ancient India, Bhavabhuti, Hastimala and Kesameswara were famous playwriters. Simply factual question. Go on to read the ancient India, India's ancient past by R.S. Sharma. You may find there, you may not find there, but you will find these facts in A.L. Bassam. Consider the following statements. The Montagu-Chelmsford reforms recommended granting of voting rights to all the women. All the women. Exaggeration, straight away wrong statement. Simple funda in the UPSC. The Government of India Act 1935 gave women reserved seats in the legislature, but here the reserved seats was not there, but separate electorate was there. So this is also a wrong statement. So answer will be D, that is neither 1 nor 2. Next question. With reference to 8th August 1942 in the Indian history, which one of the following statement is correct? The Quit India resolution was adopted by the AICC, All India Congress Committee at Gwalior Tank in Mumbai. Today's Mumbai, at that very time it was Bombay और हिंदी में बम्बई. तो ग्वालियर टैंक बम्बई में यहाँ पर ये पास किया गया था क्विट इंडिया मूवमेंट का रिजोल्यूशन, क्विट इंडिया रिजोल्यूशन. नाउ कम टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, दैट इज क्वेश्चन नंबर 84. हु अमंग द फॉलोइंग इज एसोसिएटेड with songs from the prison, a translation of ancient Indian religious lyrics in English? Simply हमारे गांधी जी. फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन, उनकी बुक पढ़िए एंड यू विल गेट टू नो. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज with reference to medieval India, which one of the following is the correct order or sequence in ascending order in terms of size? तो बेसिकली यहाँ पे टेरिटोरियल रीजन्स दिए गए हैं, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ब्लॉक्स आर प्रोवाइडेड हियर एंड यू हैव टू जस्ट आंसर और अरेंज देम इन द ascending order from smallest to bigger one. So first one will be Pargana, second one will be Sarkar and third one will be Suba. Suba was basically province और इसी से कॉन्सेप्ट आया था अकबर के समय में सूबेदार. ड्यूरिंग द अकबर रीन The head of the Suba was known as the Subedar, and thereafter Sarkar was there, and thereafter Pargana was there. Basically, this was Sarkar was a kind of district and the Pargana was local administration unit. Next question is, who among the following was associated as secretary with Hindu female school which later came to be known as Bethune female school? So here the correct answer will be Ishwarchand Vidyasagar. He was the secretary. He had been in the educational department also, and he himself had funded the female education system for many years. He had supported 22 female schools by his own. So Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, that is option C is the correct answer for question number 86. Next question is 87 question number. In the context of colonial India, Shah Nawaz Khan, Prem Kumar Sehgal and Gurbaksh Singh Dhillo are remembered as. So here simply the Indian National Army will be the option. In Burma, they had sided with Subhash Chandra Bose with their supporters and they formed the Indian National Army, and they sided with the Japanese to overthrow the British rule from India, and they were under the leadership of Subhash Chandra Bose. And the great INA trial at the Lal Killa, the Red Fort, is also named for them, is also remembered for them. Now the next question is question number 85, and this is with reference to Indian history, which of the following statement is or are correct? So here Nijamat of Arcot emerged out of Hyderabad, correct answer. Mysore kingdom emerged out of Vijayanagara empire. So here again this is a correct answer. Rohilkhand kingdom was formed out of the territories occupied by Ahmad Shah Durrani. So this is a wrong answer and the correct answer is 1. So here simply if you know that the Nijamat of Arcot emerged out of Hyderabad, only from this, if you have read about Dostali, if you have read about Carnatic War, simply in the medieval Indian history, Orient Black Swan written by Satish Chandra, you will come to know about this question simply. Next question is, which one of the following statement is correct? Ajanta caves lie in the gorges of Waghora river. Correct answer. Somewhere it is written as Waghor river also. So don't get confused. Both of the rivers are same. Next question is question number 90. So here question number 80, option A will be the correct answer. Ajanta caves lie in the gorges of Waghor river. Question number 90, consider the following statements. 21st February is declared to be the International Mother Language Day by UNICEF. Date is correct, but the organization which is declared it is wrong. So here the correct answer is, correct organization is UNESCO, not UNICEF. Next statement, the demand that Bangla has to be the one of the national language was raised in the Constituent Assembly of Pakistan. Correct answer. And Dhirendra Nath Dutt. Dhirendra Nath Dutt. Dutt or Datta, whatever you say, was the person who raised the voice, and thereafter it was rejected by the then Prime Minister, and because of which there was wide unrest in Dhaka. And now here the answer becomes B, that is 2 only for question number 90. Next question is question number 91. With reference to Chaunsat Yogini temple situated near Murena, consider the following statements. So here the first statement is, it is circular temple built during the reign of Kachappa Ghata dynasty. Correct answer, correct statement. It is the only circular temple in India, only throughout India. Exaggeration? Clearly wrong statement. And because of this, simply you will arrive at the answer, that is option C, 1 and 4 only. No need to read other statements. If you want, then you can. It was meant to promote the Vaishnava cult. This is also wrong statement. It was made for Shaivism, Shiva cult. Shaivism was the center of attraction in this temple. So next statement, its design has given rise to a popular belief that it was the inspiration behind the Indian Parliament building. Maybe so. So here from these three statements you will arrive at the answer for question number 91, that is option C. Next question, which one of the following ancient towns is well known for its elaborate system of water harvesting and management by building a series of dams channelizing water into connected reservoirs? R.S. Sharma, Oxford Publication, India's Ancient Past. Option A, Dhaulavira, correct option. Correct answer, question number 92, option A, Dhaulavira. Now the next question, that is question number 93. In the first quarter of 17th century, in which of the following was or where the factory or the factories of East India Company was located? Again here, trap, was or where, factory or factories. So here the first option Bharuch will not be there. जब सूरत में था ही तो भरूच में बनाएंगे क्यों? सबसे पहले सूरत में बन चुका था. सेकेंड ऑप्शन चिकाकोल. If you know the date, then it was 1799. So again the wrong answer. Wrong statement. So you are left with 3 only. If you know about this or not, doesn't matter. And if you know, then also you have to know about at least option 2. Because here 2 and 3 is also provided. So here option C will be the correct answer for question number 93. Next question is question number 94. From the decline of Gupta until the rise of Harshvardhan in the early 7th century, which of the following kingdoms were holding the power in northern India? So, Harshvardhana regime 1606 AD. Gupta's end 273 or something like that AD. So between this you have to analyze which of the following kingdoms were there. So in this, the question itself is that first of all the Guptas, Magadha. Guptas may be there because the later Guptas may be ruling in the Magad itself, because earlier the empire was very stretched and very large. But with the passage of time, there might have some regional powers grown off and they may be ruling over there. Next is the Parmaras of Malwa. So if you have read the history, then you might be knowing that the Parmaras reign was 970 CE, 970 CE में थे. तो Parmaras will not be there. So option 2 will not be there, and straight away you will arrive at the answer 1, 3, 4 and 6. Rest of them are not there. Now, so here for question number 94, the answer will be option B. Next question, question number 95. According to the Portuguese writer Nunes, the women in the Vijayanagara Empire were expert in which of the following areas? So Nunes was basically a Portuguese Jewish who came to visit the Vijayanagara Empire, and he wrote extensively about the Vijayanagara Empire. Basically he was a chronological writer, and he wrote that wrestling was also there, astrology, accounting, soothsaying, in all these kind of things the Vijayanagara Empire women were proficient. So the answer will be option D. Correct answer for question number 95. Next, question number 96. With reference to Madanapalle of Andhra Pradesh, which of the following statement is correct? So Madanapalle is a place in Andhra Pradesh where there was a college or university set up by any Besant, theological university or college, whatever you say. And there Ravindranath Tagore had resided for short period of time. So here the answer is Ravindranath Tagore translated national anthem from Bengali to English here. He also composed the music for this national anthem here itself at Madanapalle in Andhra Pradesh. Now come to the next question, and the next question is question number 97. We have came to the end. So here consider the following pairs. Burjahom rock cut shrine. Burjahom is in Srinagar. It is definitely rock cut but not shrine. It is dwelling. So this is not the correct match. Thereafter, Chandraketu-Garh. It is known for terracotta. It is near Kolkata, 22 miles away just from Kolkata, and there have been different artifacts which are made of terracotta. There have been some settlements and buildings also. So second is the correct match. Thereafter, Ganeshwar in Rajasthan, mining area, copper mining area, and here the copper artifacts have been found definitely. So the correct answer for 97 is option D, that is 2 and 3 both. Consider the following statements. It was during the reign of Iltutmish that Genghis Khan reached the Indus in the pursuit of the fugitive Khwarezm prince. Correct statement. During the period of Iltutmish, Genghis Khan reached up till Multan when he had attacked the Iranian or the Ottoman Empire region. It was during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq that Timur occupied Multan. So this is not a correct statement. Timur didn't came during the period of Tughlaq. Next statement is, it was during the reign of Devraya II of Vijayanagara Empire that Vasco da Gama reached the coast of Kerala. So this is also a wrong statement, and the answer will be option A of 98, that is one only. The first statement is only the correct statement. Next question is, consider the following statements. Saint Francis Xavier was one of the founding member of Jesuit order. Correct statement. He was the founding member of Jesuit order. Next statement is, Saint Francis Xavier died in Goa and a church is dedicated to him here. He didn't died in Goa. He died at an island in China when he was there to propagate Christianity. However, there is a church in Goa dedicated to his name, but he didn't died in Goa. And the feast of Saint Xavier is celebrated in Goa each year. Definitely this is celebrated in Goa each year at this church which is dedicated to him, but he didn't died in Goa. So the answer is option C, that is 1 and 3 only. These two statements are only correct. Next question is question number 100. Century. Here, with reference to the history of ancient India, which of the following statements are correct? Mitakshara was a civil law for upper caste and Daya Bhaga was a civil law for the lower caste. So here this separation was not there between Mitakshara and Daya Bhaga. Both the Mitakshara and the Daya Bhaga are the laws related to the inheritance of the property, and these two laws were used extensively by the British government to frame their own law while ruling in India. When they wanted to rule in India and administer it, then they had used these laws and translated these laws into English, and accordingly they had formulated other laws. So here this first statement is wrong. There was no segregation of upper caste or lower caste. Next is, in the Mitakshara system, the son can claim the right to the property during the life of the father, whereas in Dayabhaga the system, it is only after the death of father that the son can claim right to the property. Correct statement. In Mitakshara, the son was allowed to claim the property from its co-parceners when his father or the owner of the property is still alive. But in Dayabhaga, there was no such system. Only after the death of the owner of the property, the co-parceners can share the property. Next statement is, Mitakshara system deals with the matter related to the property held by the male members only of the family, whereas the Dayabhaga system deals with the matters related to the property held by both male and female members of the family. So in this statement is also wrong, because in Mitakshara, who can inherit the property, that is written, but who is holding the property, that is not mentioned. In Mitakshara, larger chunk of the property was given to the male members of the family or the son of the family rather than the daughter of the family. Daughter of the family was not having the same or the equal amount of share with her co-parceners. But in Dayabhaga, it was not such kind of thing. In Dayabhaga, the male and the female child both can have equal rights. They will inherit equal amount of property in their share with the co-parceners. So here the statement held by the both male and female members was not mentioned. Who holds the property was not mentioned over there. So the statement 2 is only correct statement, and here option B becomes the correct answer for the question number 100. Here we finish off, and please let me know your marks, actually how much of marks you are getting in the comment section, because as large as the sample size will be, as genuine as the cutoff will be, that will be predicted after the analysis of the marks you people are getting. And that's why I request you to write your marks, whatever you are getting, in the comment section. And after 2 days, if the sample size will be adequate, then after 2 days, with due deliberation and correct calculation according to our ability, we will provide you the prediction of the cutoff marks also. But still, after watching this trend of the question type, it was literally a tough paper. Around 30 questions was like that most of the students might not be knowing about them. Other than those, there were some questions in which the options was such that you have to know about each and every option or the statement, then only you can answer the question. So this was also a tricky question there. So right now we can predict that the cutoff might be somewhere around 95 to 98 marks only, as some of the questions are such that the students will be tempted to answer them and they will commit the mistake. So this is going to happen over there. So doesn't matter whatever you are getting, just get relaxed, and after 2 days of relaxation, not more than that, go on to prepare for the mains exam, because the main syllabus is also very huge for the UPSC. And do subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get notified, and be in touch with our channel to prepare for the mains. Various materials for the mains will also be provided, and For further information about our institute and our courses, you can visit our website. The link is provided below in the description. The contact numbers are also provided. So in case of any confusion, get in touch with us. Thank you very much and have a nice day.